definition of insanity is. Insanity is.
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened, and I don't know what to do. I'm confused, and I want to go home.
Before the sprawling open worlds, before the exotic, villainous monologues, before the outposts and the crafting systems, there was a game that laid the foundation for what would become one of the most iconic first-person shooter franchises of all time. Welcome to Far Cry.
Bro, hey, bro, I ain't finished my sentence.
Released in March of 2004, Far Cry was the debut title from Crytek, a then little-known studio that would soon revolutionize gaming visuals. Published by Ubisoft, the game wasn't just a shooter. It was a technological marvel at the time that showcased the incredible power of the CryEngine. Our protagonist is Jack Carver, an ex-Special Forces operative turned boat captain, who was hired to escort a journalist named Valerie Constantine to a remote island in the Pacific. Jack, a man with a mysterious past, has long sought refuge from his previous life, finding solace in the vast ocean and the quiet hum of his boat.
I finally got my boat back!
He spent years evading his violent history, choosing instead to embrace the simple life of a captain for hire, ferrying tourists and odd clients around picturesque waters. He prided himself on staying out of trouble, never asking too many questions and keeping his business as impersonal as possible. But beneath his rugged exterior, Jack was a man who had seen too much. His past shrouded in classified operations, covert missions, and betrayals that still haunt him. As he piloted his boat towards the island, he had no idea that his past skills would soon become his only hope for
Listen,
survival.
dirtbag, keep an eye out for some punk in a red Hawaiian shirt. If you see him, call me at once. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Are you there? Pick up the radio if you can hear this. I know you're there. I've been tracking you since you and Val arrived.
Who are you?
I'm the guy who's going to tell you how to survive. Call me Doyle.
How do I know I can trust you?
Well, for starters, how about the fact that I haven't turned you in? That radio has a bioreader. Since I know you're there, I could have ratted you out already.
Good point. Keep talking.
Listen, you need to get out of there and quickly.
This was no ordinary trip. It was the beginning of a fight for his life, a descent into an island crawling with dangers far beyond anything he had faced before. What should have been a routine trip quickly turns into a nightmare when mercenaries equipped with high-tech weaponry and an eerie sense of organization ambush them, blowing up Jack's boat in a fiery explosion. The calm ocean is suddenly transformed into a battlefield, and Jack is left stranded on the island, barely escaping with his life. Now alone and heavily outgunned, Jack must rely on his instincts, his combat training, and the island's natural cover to survive against overwhelming odds. Jack soon discovers that the island is more than just a mercenary stronghold. It's a testing ground for a sinister experiment involving genetically modified creatures known as CryEngines. These grotesque abominations, created through reckless genetic engineering, are stronger, faster, and more terrifying than any human soldier. As Jack fights to survive, he uncovers the dark truth behind these experiments and the megalomaniacal Dr. Krieger, who is pulling the strings, driven by an insatiable hunger for power and scientific discovery.
Just keep your eyes on the jungle, Jack. Now.
Hurry up. I don't know how long we'll be safe here.
Almost got it. There. Done. Now follow me. Here's the drill. After I find out how to open the gate, we need to get inside and locate the nuke.
Don't remind me.
That's not all. I need you to enter their headquarters and find the arming device.
Take a look into the future. Nature has failed mankind. Mere humans like you are about to be obsolete. I've only taken a few thousand years of evolution and put it into a test tube. Survival of the fittest. Good luck.
The story follows the classic action movie formula. A reluctant hero, a damsel in distress, a power-hungry villain, and plenty of explosions. While the plot may not be the most complex, it does the job of keeping players engaged from start to finish, constantly throwing new challenges Jack's way and forcing him to adapt and fight against both man and monster alike. One of the most standout features of Far Cry was its open-ended approach to combat. Unlike many shooters at the time, which relied on linear corridors and scripted encounters, Far Cry placed players in large, open environments and gave them the freedom to tackle objectives however they saw fit, whether through direct confrontation, strategic flanking, or using the environment to their advantage. Players could shape each encounter to fit their playstyle. Players could go in guns blazing, picking up a variety of weapons including assault rifles, sniper rifles, and rocket launchers. Or they could take the stealthy approach, sneaking in through the foliage and silently eliminating enemies. The dense jungle provided plenty of opportunities for ambushes, making every encounter feel like a test of wits as much as skill. Vehicles also played a big role in Far Cry. Jeeps, boats, hang gliders gave players multiple ways to traverse the island, adding to the sense of immersion and scale. It was one of the first FPS games to offer this level of freedom, and it set a precedent for the future titles in the franchise. One of the most impressive aspects of Far Cry was its enemy mercenaries weren't just mindless cannon fodder. They worked together, used cover intelligently, and even attempted to flank the player. If you made too much noise, the enemies would radio for backup, bringing reinforcements in from all directions. If you tried to snipe from a distance, they'd hide behind cover, reposition, or close the gap to force close quarters combat. This level of unpredictability made every encounter feel dynamic and challenging, keeping players consistently on their toes. Few games at the time offered such a smart and adaptable enemy force, making Far Cry's combat feel more organic and rewarding. Far Cry was a visual powerhouse for its time. Powered by CryEngine, the game boasted massive draw distances, detailed textures, and realistic water physics, with advanced lighting effects that were unheard of in 2004. The lush environments weren't just for show, they played a crucial role in gameplay. The dense foliage provided opportunities for stealth, while the open spaces encouraged long-range engagements. Even today, the game's visuals hold up surprisingly well, especially when played with modern mods and enhancements. High-resolution texture packs, improved lighting effects, and updated shaders breathe new life into the experience, allowing players to appreciate the lush environments in even greater detail. The water physics, which were already groundbreaking at the time, now appear even more realistic with modern rendering techniques. The modding community has ensured Far Cry remains not just a nostalgic relic, but a visually stunning experience that continues to be a testament to Crytek's ambition. As we look back on Far Cry, it's clear that this was more than just another shooter. It was a game that challenged conventions, pushed technology forward, and set the stage for an entire franchise. Its DNA is woven into every open-world FPS that followed, from its own sequels to countless other titles that embraced player freedom, intelligent AI, and expansive environments. Far Cry was a bold experiment, one that paid off in ways no one would have expected. While its successors took the series in new and exciting directions, the original remains a fascinating glimpse into what was possible at a time when the industry was still discovering the potential of open-ended gameplay. Whether you played it back in 2004 or you're just discovering it today, Far Cry is worth experiencing. Not just as a piece of gaming history, but as an adventure that still holds its own in the vast landscape of first-person shooters.